المسلم يجوز له أن يتزوج امرأة كافرة نصرانية، لكن لا يجوز له أن يتزوج وثنية. المسلم لا يحل له أن يتزوج امرأة وثنية. فمثلا من نساء الهند هندوكية، لا يحل للمسلم أن يتزوج امرأة من الهندوك أو من البوذيين، يعني أي مشركة.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So the noble sheikh who has passed away not too long ago, but he's returned to Allah, so may Allah bless his soul and grant him the highest level of Jannah. He lets us know that it's not permissible for a Muslim man, or Muslim woman really, no Muslim, to marry an idol-worshipping pagan, and then he clarifies this further for us, which is that you can't marry a Buddhist or a Hindu. Now, because we have so many liberal progressives out there who try to really distort Islam and try to be super PC, they don't really stand on business, and they try to innovate constantly and confuse the orthodoxy that we hold to. They try to make it sound like it's totally good and normal for a person upon Tawheed, pure Islamic monotheism, to marry someone who creates shirk. It's good, like, to have this clarification for the believers, because oftentimes beauty can override senses, and sometimes people, because they are lustful or they're struggling with controlling their urges, their primal nature, they can bend rules when they shouldn't, right? So if a woman is stuck, it's different, and you're like, oh, we gotta help her to be able to find a good husband, because women usually rely on men financially, but men don't usually rely on women financially, so it's easier for a man to walk away from a relationship where there's no children. He's usually not gonna suffer financially, whereas, you know, a revert who's married to a non-Muslim would struggle to find housing and childcare, and, you know, have more of a problematic change. But for young men to know from the get-go, hey, these types are off limits. And also the occultists, he doesn't mention this, but obviously Muslim men are not allowed to marry what they call the Wiccans, different occultists and whatnot, because they worship shaitan, to put it bluntly, and they also commit shirk. Okay, so it's so important for us to understand that Buddhists are not allowed either, and there's idolatry in Buddhism. I know some people claim that there isn't, and that there's different types of Buddhism depending on the Tibetan versus like the mainland China one, you know, the fat Buddha versus the skinny Buddha. But still, the propping up of idols, Kuan Yin, I had, when I first reverted to Islam, collected and amassed lots of Hindu and Buddhist trinkets, you know, because I studied Buddhism for so long, and I am ashamed to admit that I spent too much money on that stuff. But it wasn't Muslim, and for me it was like creating a museum in a way. I have that kind of a brain where artifacts, they fascinate me. But I put them all in the garbage when I reverted and got rid of them all. And the thing is there's a lot of idol stuff in Buddhism. A lot of amulets, trinkets, superstitions that wouldn't really mesh with Islam. And I would argue that a Muslim marrying a Hindu or a Buddhist would create more problems than an atheist. Because it's almost like an atheist has a blank slate, whereas the Hindu has, here's an idol, here's this day, and just think about the rat temple and just the animal iconography, Ganesh with his elephant head. Because I had a Ganesh on a door frame in my kitchen. I was like, oh, it's interesting, makes my home look ancient. Like I said, my dwelling place kind of looked like the British Museum or something. Or a museum in Cairo. And I had to get rid of all that stuff. But I get it how some Westerners may not understand it. But as reverts, we have to really work on, okay, what's permissible, what's not, and understand the Islamic reasoning. So I just wanted to make sure to share this with you all because, I've never really seen too many men say it's okay for a Muslim man to marry a Hindu woman, but with the rise in revisionist, liberal hijabis, you can see how they distort and they want to really change Islam. So I see more women changing the rules rather than men. So let us be informed now, and once we have been informed with the truth, we're supposed to act upon it. Okay? I don't see how someone who is on a Tawheed and understands that Abraham, may Allah be pleased with him, destroyed idols, who would then put the cow in a position that is not due to it, and would engage in that type of shirk level. Okay. Once you really get into shirk, association, worship with Allah, you violate Allah's worship, Allah's lordship, His names and attributes, His oneness in His name and attributes. You're really going off, and I don't think you can taste the sweetness as much, because we are blessed not to have, okay, gotta pray to this one, gotta pray to that one, gotta pray to this one, gotta pray to that one. We're just not about that life. And I would love to ask that sheikh if he was still alive. Catholics are definitely mushriks. I mean, they have a new millennial saint that they just canonized, and they're taking out his organs and they're going to send his body parts as relics across the Catholic world. I mean, it's pretty disgusting when you think about it. I have no idea how that's not considered shirk for some Muslims, because we say people of the book, Ahlul Kitab, right? But not every Christian sect is equal. The Baptist to the Presbyterian, the Protestant to the Calvinist. I think Catholics are pretty much in the same boat as Buddhists and Hindus, because look at their places of worship. There's so many idols and statues, and they put candles, and it's just, what's going on here? It's crazy to me. So I would love to ask him that. Maybe some of you can ask your local sheikhs and then type in the comments what they say, because I haven't seen a video yet where a sheikh gives a fatwa on that sect of Christianity. So let me know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, join the blog. Until next time.